Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari, a combination that has inspired dreams and endless debate in the Formula One world. Now, after completing his first test session with Ferrari, Hamilton's reaction has rocked the paddock. What he has just revealed about his experience with Ferrari's F1 car is nothing short of astonishing. After years of frustration with the uncompetitive Mercedes, Hamilton has made it clear that he feels better and more in control with Ferrari than he has in a long time. This could be the key to Ferrari's revival and Hamilton's chance to return to the top. But is this really the start of a glorious new era, or just a moment of euphoria? Let's take a closer look. Hamilton has completed his first test session with Ferrari, and his comments are nothing short of astonishing. After a challenging few years with Mercedes, especially from 2022 to 2024, Hamilton described his experience with Ferrari as refreshing and hopeful. In private conversations with team members and reports in La Gazzetta dello Sport, Hamilton praised the balance and handling of the Ferrari SF23, despite its notoriously poor tire management. By comparison, Hamilton's last experience with Mercedes was filled with frustration at the lack of downforce and rear grip. Mercedes experimented with a zero-pod design for 2 seasons, but the concept failed to deliver the competitive edge they had hoped for. The result was a car that was less stable in high-speed corners and not consistent enough to challenge Red Bull and McLaren on race day. In contrast, Hamilton's early impressions of Ferrari were that the Scuderia had delivered a more predictable and responsive car. He privately told engineers that the Ferrari's braking system and cornering balance gave him more confidence compared to the unstable rear of the Mercedes. This feedback immediately prompted Ferrari to make further adjustments to adapt the SF25 to Hamilton's driving style. Vicky Perea, an Italian driver who watched Hamilton test at Fiorano, noted that Hamilton was not just driving casually, but experimenting with brake balance, differentials, and even tire locking. He said, "You could see he was already pushing the limits of the car and trying to figure out how to improve it. He was clearly motivated to make it work." Mercedes' performance decline in recent years has been well documented. After dominating the hybrid era, Mercedes is facing a harsh reality with the introduction of new regulations for 2022. Their zero-pod concept aims to reduce drag and improve aerodynamic efficiency, but at the expense of cornering stability and tire degradation. Hamilton has often expressed his frustration with the car's unpredictability, particularly under hard braking and accelerating out of slow corners. As Mercedes' form began to wane, Hamilton was often outperformed by his younger teammate George Russell, particularly in qualifying. A lack of rear grip often hampered Hamilton's performance in races. In contrast, testing with Ferrari, he experienced a car that really responded to his inputs and rekindled his confidence. This could be a key factor in his ambition to be a major title contender again in 2025. While the SF23 still has many shortcomings, Ferrari showed promising signs of improvement towards the end of the 2024 season. The Italian team has been working to overcome the various obstacles that have hampered their performance throughout the season, and there is optimism that the improvements made will bear fruit. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur described the improvements to the car as on a different level from last year, particularly in terms of tire management, which has been one of Ferrari's weak points. Early feedback from Lewis Hamilton, who will be joining the team, suggests that the changes have provided a much more solid foundation for the development of the SF25, the car he will use next season. One area where Ferrari could potentially have an edge over Mercedes is their approach to car balance and aerodynamics. The team has been working hard on the SF25, which is expected to feature a more sophisticated suspension system and a more efficient aerodynamic package. Both elements are designed to increase the car's speed through corners, while also extending the life of the tires to ensure optimum performance throughout the race. With Hamilton's experience and expertise in car development, Ferrari is in a strong position to optimize these changes and approach the level of dominance of Red Bull, who are still the strongest team on the grid at the moment. Hamilton's involvement in the early stages of the SF25's development has been described as crucial. His collaboration with Ferrari technical director Loic Serra, himself a former Mercedes engineer, is believed to have brought a fresh perspective to refine various technical aspects of the car. Some of the key elements that have been the focus of this development include braking response, chassis balance, and electronic differential settings, all of which play a vital role in creating a more competitive car. If Ferrari can take full advantage of Hamilton's insight and experience, it is not impossible that the SF25 could be one of the main contenders in the 2025 season, with a great chance of challenging Red Bull and other top teams. The competition within the Ferrari team has become one of the most interesting topics ahead of the 2025 season, especially with the presence of two great drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Both have shown promising performances during pre-season testing, which shows how close the internal competition is within the team. Leclerc, who has long been a Ferrari icon and the face of the team in recent years, now faces a tough challenge from one of the most successful drivers in F1 history. Hamilton, on the other hand, comes to Ferrari with a wealth of experience and 7 World Championship titles under his belt, and with great ambitions to return to glory. Despite their status as rivals within the team, early reports indicate that both Leclerc and Hamilton are approaching this competition with a professional and respectful attitude. Both understand that healthy competition within the team will not only improve individual performance, but will also help Ferrari achieve their main goal, ending their long title drought. With Formula One conditions becoming increasingly competitive, Ferrari must ensure that both drivers can perform at their best throughout the season. Currently, the competition at the top of the standings will not be easy, considering that other teams such as Red Bull, McLaren and Mercedes are also expected to be serious competitors in the title hunt. Therefore, Ferrari's success this season will depend not only on the performance of the car they develop, but also on how they manage the relationship and dynamics between their two talented drivers. If Ferrari fails to balance the two drivers, they could lose a golden opportunity to win the championship. Hamilton himself is well aware that the expectations on him are very high. With his long experience in F1 and his reputation as one of the most consistent drivers, he is under great pressure to adapt immediately to the Ferrari car. Team insiders have revealed that Ferrari want Hamilton to be fully comfortable with the car before the third race of the season at Suzuka. If he is able to perform as well or better than Leclerc has since the start of the season, it is not out of the question that Hamilton will be the focus of Ferrari's title campaign. However, if he struggles to adapt, the team will likely be more inclined to support Leclerc as their mainstay in the hunt for the title. With all the dynamics at play, the Hamilton-Leclerc rivalry has the potential to be one of the most intriguing elements of the season. How Ferrari handles the situation will be a crucial factor in their quest for glory in 2025. Lewis Hamilton's comments after his first test with Ferrari provide a valuable insight into his mindset as he enters the next chapter of his long and illustrious F1 journey. His praise for the Ferrari's balance and control reflected an optimism that has been rare in recent years. It suggests that, for the first time in a long while, he feels he has a car that can truly live up to his expectations, giving him the confidence to return to competing at the highest level and challenging his rivals for supremacy. The road ahead for Hamilton and Ferrari is not without obstacles. On the one hand, the team must continue to work hard to develop the car in order to remain competitive against tough rivals like Red Bull and Mercedes. On the other hand, Hamilton himself must be able to adapt to a new environment, different team dynamics and the unique characteristics of the Ferrari car in a relatively short period of time. This adaptation challenge will be a key factor in determining how quickly he can reach his peak performance. With the wealth of experience he brings as a 7-time world champion, and Ferrari's strong determination to regain its long-lost glory, the 2025 season promises to be a very interesting battle. This could be one of the most dramatic and surprising seasons in F1 history. The big question is, will Hamilton be the central figure that finally brings Ferrari back to the top of the standings, or will Charles Leclerc prove himself as the true leader of the team and dominate this season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section.